Hello, good people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, today I'm very excited to be here. So if you're a new subscriber or if you're just passing by, I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you watch it to the end. Okay, and I hope everyone who's returned and every new person interested, remember to click that subscribe button. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, let's get into it because today I want to make this very short and sweet. It's not sweet, it was a bitter story. But anyways, today I'm telling you guys a story time about when a guy I was dating cheated on me in front of the whole school. Yes, look at me, look at me, deep it. Anyways, so here the story goes. There's a part where I was wrong. The beginning of the story, I played a part in making karma try to chase me and shit. So I take it. I ain't mad about it though. But it is what it is. But anyways, let me get you from the beginning so that you guys can tell me whether I was wrong, whether it was a bit wishy-washy. But anyways, here goes nothing. So Form 1, I get to to university. I get to high school. I instantly click with these two girls. One is called Tadiwa, the other one we're gonna name her Tanya. Okay, so I instantly clicked with these two girls, and from the guy side we clicked with this one guy that we're gonna name Peter, right? So the three of us and Peter were like a friend group of 4. We used to be so ridiculous. We're like the school clubs. Anyways, we were the school clowns. Okay, ciao. But anyways, yeah, so with the school clowns and shit. So basically what happened is that end of Form 1, people starting to like warm up to each other, starting to get into relationships, yada yada yada. So we went back home for like the holiday break, about to start Form 2. So during that break, I started talking to this guy who was in a different class but in my stream. We're gonna name him James. It's not really important in the story, but yeah, because the relationship wasn't that. It's not got that. But anyways, I'm still gonna, yeah, it'll make sense. So this guy was named James. So I go back to school, Form 2, right? And I used to do French with Peter, our guy best friend, and my other 2 friends were in different electives. But the thing is, Tadiwa then left. So it was only Tanya and I, and then Peter. So we're in French class this one day, and then Peter comes to me and is like, "Oh, do you want to know who I like?" At this point, I have not told him that I'm now in a relationship with James. So I'm like, "Oh, who is it?" And then he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Okay, in our stream, are they a border?" And he's like, "Yes, affirmative for both." So I'm like, "Okay, okay." So I guess to every girl, except for me, because I'm not condescending. I'm not gonna, sorry. Because it would be awkward if he's like, "Oh no, ew, you, why?"
Boy.
Okay, somebody just paused. Yeah, anyway. So I was like, who? Because I guessed everyone, and he said no to each and every one. So I'm like, okay, makes no sense. So I said my best friend again, Tanya. So it's like, oh, are you saying that I have a crush on Tanya? And I was like, no, I'm not saying that you do. I'm just trying to figure out who it is because you came to me with your story. I didn't just come to you. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, by the way, did I tell you that I'm not getting out with James? And he's like, oh, how come you didn't tell me? And I was like, oh, it wasn't really important. And also, I figured that I'll tell you when I get to school because you didn't have a phone during the holiday, so we couldn't talk on app. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. So we left class and stuff, and he was acting weird for like 2 days or something. And then he then came to me and was like, yeah, I do have a crush on Tanya. So I'm like, okay, you need to ask her out then. If you like her, then go for it. You should go for it. And I was like, okay, cool. So I kind of dared him. I was like, if you need an incentive, I'll buy you chocolate the moment you do it, So me on the other side, I went to her and I'm like, okay, this dude likes you, and he wants to go out with you. But look here, the thing is, before Peter went to tell Tanya that he had a crush, I knew I had seen at some point. In fact, before I even started going out with James, I also had a low-key crush on Peter, right? And my friend Tanya knew about it. She knew about it because we spoke about it. But I figured it would kind of ruin the friendship if I made it known to him that I liked him. And that's why I went on and dated somebody else. And that's why I started dating James. So when then he told me that he liked Tanya, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if you're saying that to get to me or if you genuinely feel like that. So I was like, okay, no, it's fine. Like, go for it. Like, I couldn't be bothered because now I was in another relationship and I was fine where I was. It wasn't that serious in that relationship that I was in, but, you know, I wasn't too phased about him wanting to make a move on my friend. So I was like, okay, cool. So this is Form 2. He goes, he asks her out, they start dating. Yeah, they start going out, yada, 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 right? So whenever they would have problems, he would come to me because he was already my best friend, and I would go to him because I was already his best friend. So, yeah, at some point, a lot of people started complaining, saying, "Oh, you guys are getting too close. You guys do have partners. You guys are in separate relationships, but you guys are always together. It makes his girlfriend feel insecure." No, 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 no. So now, at some point, like it felt like my friendship with her was drifting a little bit because him and I still maintained a very close friendship, even though they were dating. So I feel like at some point she felt like she was competing with me. I'm not sure if it's safe to say that, but I'm saying that it seemed like it. So, anyways, long story short, at some point they broke up. Okay, initially I broke up with James first. I told him, man, this ain't working, because he was kind of doing things on the side. So I didn't know about it at that time, but he was doing things on the side. So I was like, okay, cool. That ain't no problem. We should end it. And then he refused. He refused. Imagine. He was like, no, you're being ridiculous. We're not gonna break up. We're not gonna break up. And I'm like, okay, cool, sure, okay. So I go back to hostel and I'm like, Gene. The next day he comes and he says, I think we should break up. So I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, that's what I said. But your idea, gee, cool. So the next day, funny enough, Tanya decides to go break up with Peter. And I'm like, girl, same day after I broke up with my man? Seems a little sus to me, but I'm like, gee, it's cool. That ain't a problem. And I just left it like that, obviously. So, fast forward, this is end of Form 2. This whole thing happened for like a couple of months, whatever, yeah. So, jumping into Form 3. Jumping into Form 3, during the holiday, Peter was hitting me up big time. And he was like, I'm feeling the girl, I'm feeling the vibes. So I'm like, so I'm not really buying into it. I'm like, dude, you're my best friend. You were dating our best friend. Yada yada. We can't just be rounding best friends. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. So, yeah. Anyways, I then told him that, let me think about it. Let me see how I'm gonna maneuver the situation. So I waited to go back to school, and then I told Tanya about it, and I'm like, hey, look, here's what your homeboy is saying to me. This is the story. Why am I lagging? Why am I like zoning out and shit? Yeah, anyway, so I was like, this is the story. Your ex is coming to me and he wants to go out with me. And she's like, no, it's fine. I'm genuinely over this guy. Like, we did date, but it wasn't that serious. So, and I was like, no, but the thing is, you dated him knowing that I liked him. And she's like, no, but you had a boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, that's why I never complained. Then she's like, okay, so do you like him? And I was like, oh, I like him as a friend. I haven't really thought about the prospect of us being in a relationship, so I'm not sure how to maneuver that situation. So she's like, okay, no, if you want to go out with him, then you should go out with him. So I was like, okay, let me think about it. I took some time. I told him, and I was like, dude, I don't know. You're like putting me in a very tight spot, because if I say no, it's gonna affect our friendship. If I say yes, somehow somebody's gonna fuck up and it's gonna ruin the friendship again. So I don't know, man. And then he's like, no, I really like you. You've known. You can't even tell me. Even when people were complaining that we're getting too close. It was because I liked you and I know you like me. Yada yada yada. So the girl's like, okay, let's try it out. You know? If I could go back, I would just take that shit back. I would just not have done it entirely. So anyways, we start dating. This is Form 3 first term. I was about 15. 15? Yeah, 15. And this was like first termish. So we dated for about 11 months. We dated for about 11 months. And now, the bullshit comes in here. Where he would just, guys, he used to stay in Blues. I used to stay in Harare. Throughout the relationship, even on my birthday, he never got me anything. Those days, my dad used to work in Swaziland, so I got him a gift. Because I traveled, it was a holiday. And I'm very much of a gift giver. It doesn't matter. I'll just get you a cap, even a chain, even whatever. I got him a t-shirt on my birthday. Nigga did not give me shit. Nothing. Nada. Anyways, so I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. We're young. We were very quick to brush off things. We didn't really know what we wanted or our values and shit. So, yeah, and sometimes we had, like, even throughout the whole relationship, we had a lot of issues where I felt like he was liking other people behind the scenes and shit. So, yeah, anyways, let's come to the real event. Now I'm giving you the background on how I got together with this guy. So now you know a little bit more on the kind of person he is. And, yeah. So that day we had ads, right? Like competitions. So like these were just like inter-house what, right? And his sister came and his family came and stuff to support. And then they came to support, and I didn't want to meet them, and he also didn't seem like he wanted me to meet them. So I was like, no, it's fine, like no problem. Then after that, we're gonna have a bride, because I was in boarding school, like throughout the whole 6 years of high school, I was in boarding school. So we were gonna have a function that night. It was gonna be a bride. Okay, we actually did. It was a bride. We had a bride stand outside, like by some grass, and then the classroom blocks. The first room had a movie. The second room had some games. The third room had meat and other stuff, like food stuffs that were to do with the bride and everything. So you just pay for whichever room you wanted to be in, or you'd pay for all of them and just like gallivant throughout them. So there's this girl. We're gonna call her. We're gonna call her Tasha. We're gonna call her Tasha. So it's Tanya and Tasha. Okay, Tanya's now out of the picture, but yeah. So we're gonna call her Tasha, right? So anyways, with this Tasha chick, she was a stream below me, so she was in Form 2 at this time, and we were pretty cool. Like, yeah, she was like my junior, and we were pretty cool. We actually were friends, not that tight though, but we were friends. So anyways, I get to that function, and I'm chilling with my mans. We buy meat. I'm with my homies, with my homegirls. And we have our meat by the bride stand, and we're, just enjoying. I don't even think we knew how to bride meat, honestly, but we were there. We were there, right? And we're chilling, looking at our meat and stuff. And then I'm talking to my boyfriend, and he's like, "Oh, like my song with the boys is playing, so I'm gonna just go dance with the boys." And I was like, "No, it's fine, it's fine." So he was talking to the boys the last time I checked, and I'm talking to my friends, and then I decided, oh, let me go get salt for our meat. So I pass and I go into one of the rooms to get salt. And then as I'm coming back, I walk past. Well, remember, this is a function where even the day scholars would come, even the boarders would come, like literally the whole school. So everyone would be there, even some of the teachers as well. So I literally just walked out of the room. As I'm walking past, I looked aside and I see a tree, obviously. And I see behind that tree, my boyfriend is kissing Tasha. So I see it and I'm like, oh, sis, man, disgusting shit.
하나요? 아, disgusting shit.
It wasn't disgusting at that. Okay, it was obviously disgusting, but that's not the first thing that came to my head. But I was like, nah, he's not gonna get the satisfaction from me. So I walk past him, and I go back and I stand with my friends and I put the salt on top of my meat. And now all of my friends are looking at me, and I think all of them were very much confused. Like, all of them were very all of them were very much confused because they're like, what? How come she's not reacting? How come she hasn't gone to them? So one of them was like, Anisu, why are you standing there? Go. And I was like, go and do what? They're fucking kissing. Why would I go and ask them what they're doing when I can see that they're kissing? And they're like, no, you still need to go. And I'm like, bruh. So I'm like, fuck. Now the whole school is literally looking at me. And guys, I do not like attention. I only like attention when it's the good kind of attention, like an award. Like, this was making me very uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I start walking. And I get there and I just stand. And I was like, oh, am I missing something? And the girl immediately started running away. And then he just moved. So I'm like, ugh, fuck this. So I just left. And then he had gotten me a gift for Valentine's, right? Like a keychain. Like we had a heart keychain. So I went to the hostel. Then I got it. I asked one of the girls who didn't come to the function. I was like, hey dude, can you please give me my keychain, because I need to go back and give this raggedy ass back his toy, because yeah, he just cheated on me. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, he did. And she's like, okay. And she went, she got it for me. And I came back and I was chilling with my friends. Now the whole school is treating me differently. Like, I passed through this group of guys and one of them was like, side chick. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't even do shit. But I was like, okay, it's cool. So I eventually found him. He eventually came back, and I was like, okay, dude, I don't want to talk about this. I don't have the time and the energy to try and understand why you do something like that to me. But at the end of the day, you did what you did, and I don't want to talk about it. So here's your shit. And it's like, what? It's like, yeah, sorry, I was just drunk. And I was like, first of all, you're not allowed to be drinking at school. You want me to snitch? And I was like, nah, I can't give you the satisfaction. If I didn't snitch, then you would have won because you got the reaction that you wanted from me. So I was like, nah, it's cool. So I then left it. And I was like, okay, just take your keychain. I'm done. And then I left him. And then the next day, he wasn't at school. He went from Mashingo back to Bulawayo because he ran away. He called his mom to come pick him up. And he was picked up and he went home for like about a week. And the whole week was shit for me, honestly. It was shit. It was cuck because I was going through the most of everyone trying to, you'd tell that people are making fun of you about things happening without your knowledge. And I'm like, okay, no, it's fine. That's life. But, yeah, so he left. He then came back like after a week. And then he wasn't really like talking to me or like making moves or anything. But when we went back home for like the holidays, he then started saying, oh, I'm gonna change for you, yada yada yada. So I was like, you can play that game. So on my 16th birthday, there was rugby at PE, like the festival, dairy board, Courtco, whatever. So it was my birthday that day, and I was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, we can chill, we can hang out. So we chilled, we were having a good time. We actually got alcohol, we drank, yada yada yada. And then he was thinking, because we actually kissed that day, so he was thinking, yeah, we're gonna get back together. And I just ghosted him in person and at school. And I was like, nah, you did what you did, and I did what I did. So that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But anyways, I know that I don't have as much enthusiasm for the story, but that is my story on how I got played like a fucking fool in front of the fucking school. Hey, it's you. I'm joking. That was so ghetto. But anyways, the rhyme scheme, guys, you can't hate on that. I'm sorry, I was distracted with this wrapping paper, with this wrapper, whatever it's called. Yeah, but anyways, that was how I got dribbled. Guys, at your earliest convenience, when you see a guy that moves shady, or that can come from you to your homie, or from your homie to you, leave at your earliest convenience. If it's just gonna be a friendship, fair and fine. But anything more than that, just leave it alone. Has nothing to do with you. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching this video just as much as I enjoyed making it for you. There is little to no electricity or light right now, but I hope this wasn't too bad. Yeah, anyways, out to eat.